Welcome back to Burnout Banter. The nights are longer, the deadlines are scarier, and somewhere a proposal portal is closing just as you hit upload. If you've ever watched a file freeze at 98% or woken up from a nightmare about font styles and sub-consultant resumes, this episode is for you. In the spirit of the season, we are sharing true tales of terror from the world of AEC marketing. These are the stories that haunt us, the ones that live rent-free in our minds long after the deadline has passed. You'll hear about cursed portals, cursed proposals, haunted inboxes, and the ghosts of deadlines past, all from brave marketers who live to tell the tale. So grab your cozy fall bevy of choice, turn down the lights, and settle in. Hey everyone, my name is Rochelle,
And I'm Jeff.
and this is Burnout Banter, Horror Stories Edition. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen so you never miss an episode of the banter.
It's funny you were talking about fonts because we were sarcastically having a conversation this week at a conference I was at about our favorite font, and I have no idea what font they were talking about, but it just became like this running joke of like, ooh, this font is like the best font that you could ever use.
I was so excited that you were about to tell us what your favorite font is because that would have been so unexpected from you.
It began with a B, so I don't know. That's all that stuck in my head.
Began with a B.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know
Yeah.
my fonts well enough. I live in Arial and Helvetica land. I've got like
Yeah.
Bookman Old Face, but nobody's calling that their favorite.
Belmont or something like that.
Okay, that sounds fancy. I like it.
I like it too. It's my favorite, even though I have no idea what it looks like or even what the name is.
I like Robato, mostly because it's fun to say. Robato.
It is fun.
Well, I have my
We've com
pumpkin
we've
spice
completely
chai.
derailed.
We have. I was gonna bring us back on with
All right, bring us back on.
I've
Sorry, I
got my
keep
pumpkin
trying to
spice
derail
chai.
this.
I am ready. For those of you who had not listened to last year's episode of Horror Stories, basically we have four stories for you. I'll read one, Jeff will read one. We'll chat about them a little bit. And yeah, it'll just be a nice, cozy little episode. So let's get started. Our first story is called A Week in 3 Days. It started innocently enough. It was just another rush proposal week. Except by Wednesday morning, I'd already logged 40 hours. My laptop was an appendage, my coffee mug an IV, and my inbox a live feed of panic. Every time I thought I was done, another quick change came in. Just fix the org chart. Oh, and the resumes. Wait, can you redo the entire project approach now that leadership wants a different narrative? Sure, why not? By Thursday night, I was hallucinating spreadsheets. I finally hit send on the draft at 3 a.m., crawled into bed, and woke up feeling like I'd been hit by a bus. Fever, body aches, and overwhelming desire to stay under the blankets. Oh no. And of course, it was deadline day. I spent the day wrapped in a blanket, sweating through my keyboard while the PM checked in every hour to ask if the sub-consultant bios were updated. They weren't because I was trying not to pass out. Oh my goodness. The proposal went in, barely. I don't remember much after that, except realizing much later that my body had been screaming at me for weeks and I just wasn't listening. Ow, I feel that one
Yeah,
in my body.
for sure. The one thing I would disagree with is I don't know how you could hallucinate spreadsheets. I mean, that sounds like a great dream night for me.
No, no, that sounds terrifying to me. We know I hate Excel. I hate sheets. That was the scariest line in this whole thing for me. I'm so sad that this poor marketer probably has a bunch of green monsters that just list every project detail ever and every resume detail ever, and they've been combing through them for ages putting this proposal together. Personal nightmare for me.
I think this is, I mean, anytime you QC something, you're always going to find new things. So how have you learned to deal with that? Like, when's good enough enough?
Someone literally called me a perfectionist yesterday, and they meant it as a compliment. And I was like, you have no idea how hard I've worked to not be that as a marketer because perfect is the enemy of done.
Yeah,
It has stressed me out so bad in my career. And I open up proposals all the time now and find little things that I would have liked to have changed, but none of them is going to change the outcome. Like, I'm not going to win because I moved a comma. I'm not going to lose because I used a different word than I would today. So I think it's just been like a practice of, is this vital? Do I feel comfortable with the level that we're at? If yes, good enough.
yeah. It's interesting that with drawings, right? The only perfect set of drawings that's ever been issued is for projects that never get built because nobody ever finds the mistakes.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
Look,
yeah, I think you've learned over time that no matter how good of a job you do, there's always going to be things you mess up. But especially when you're dealing with people who don't have that mindset and are just nitpicking at your stuff, it can be pretty frustrating.
yes.
Yeah.
But we have to set clear boundaries on like, what is this proposal review? It is not a grammatical review. It is a fatal flaw review. Did we say anything that's going to get us in trouble? Are we missing anything that's going to get us disqualified? No? Cool. Let's go.
Yeah. Oof. That person sounds like they needed a lot of time to recover from that one.
I hope they got at least a week or two to bounce back.
All right. You ready for story number two?
Deep breath, deep breath. I'm ready.
This one's called Portal Nightmares. Sounds interdimensional. It's like going to the upside down world in Stranger Things or something.
You don't spend a lot of time with procurement portals, do you?
No, thankfully I do not.
I would rather be in the upside down of Stranger Things than deal with Ariba. So,
All right. There's a special kind of terror that only proposal peeps know. Watching a portal clock tick down to zero while your file upload freezes at 98%. It was a Friday, of course. The subject matter expert, that poor little person, who had promised me their already very late section. I added that. That was not what was
I
in the
was
story.
just gonna say creative rewrite, Jeff.
I'm always on the side of the subject matter experts. They're the heroes in my story. Anyways, I've derailed again. The subject matter expert, who had promised me their already very late section first thing in the morning, didn't send it until 4:15 p.m. Maybe they woke up at 4 o'clock. The portal was set to close at 5 o'clock, and I was in a coffee shop with the slowest Wi-Fi connection ever because I was supposed to be on vacation. Every page loaded one line at a time. I watched the upload bar crawl while my heart rate climbed. 458, 459, portal closed. I sat there staring at the error message, unable to decide whether to cry, laugh, or throw my laptop out the window. The PM called, furious. I explained the delay, the schedule issues, the internet speed, the fact that I was on vacation and someone else from the office, like them, should have been uploading the file. They sighed and said, well, next time we just need to manage our time better. Right. We.
We we were
Oh,
probably
wait.
ready to upload this thing the Thursday before. Oh, I hate all of this too.
Yeah. I actually had a client who was in a similar situation where they didn't get it uploaded, but they had missed something that was going to cause them to get disqualified. And they realized it after it had already been submitted. And she worried the whole weekend whether she was going to get fired or not.
Oh
And
no.
the ask of her, what they were asking her to do was insane to get this proposal in on time with all this stuff happening at, last minute. And yeah, she just felt terrible about it and was sure she was going to get fired. And they luckily reacted to it a lot better than this PM did.
Yeah,
But
this PM reacted very poorly.
yeah. So
Ugh.
tough one. That one hits home for me.
Portals. My fear with portals is always that there's going to be a hidden upload because what happens a lot of times is you've got your core questions, and once you upload those, it like magically reveals a hidden question or one that couldn't be like unlocked until you'd uploaded your answer to the parent question, and you have literally no way of knowing until you've uploaded your answers. It doesn't download in like the RFP documentation. It doesn't download in your Excel spreadsheet, or it's like a hidden column. So much anxiety. So I start like filling in our portal responses in advance just to see, like I'll replace them, but just to see if those are there. So if I was doing this at like 4:58 and I had slow internet and one of those questions popped up, I think I would have thrown my computer out the window. I wouldn't have answered that phone call from that PM, especially on vacation. Like, oh my God.
I'm pretty glad I don't have portals. We just turn in our drawings, and if they're late sometimes.
Some portals are fine. Some portals are the
E-
devil.
Evil and demonic.
Yes.
Demonic portals.
Ariba, you demonic portal, you. I still get hives from that one, and I haven't submitted anything on Ariba since like 2015.
Why is it named Ariba?
I can't remember. I think it's like a Microsoft program, but it's like a super quote unquote secure system. It's such a crock. Like the client has to pay to use it, but then the firm also has to pay to use it. So they're double dipping on users. And the interface looks like it was coded in 1997. So it's horrible. It's clunky. It's so bad. It's so
I,
bad.
I thought maybe it was an homage to, do you remember the Looney Tunes? Man, I'm having a hard time with words today. Cartoons, the Looney Tune cartoons with the little mice who wore sombreros and they would run around saying Arriba, Arriba over and over again.
I mean, yes, I remember those.
I thought maybe that's why it was named that because it was super fast.
It is not,
So it
but
should
I'm
have been
going to think of
the
that every
anthem.
time someone says Ariba now because it'll make me feel better.
Okay, good. At least something positive came out of this horror episode.
That's how I'm going to market this episode. Just buried in the middle of it is a better way to think about Ariba. Are we ready for the next one on that
I think
note?
so.
All right. Our next story is called The Submission Trap. I was new to the office and still finding my footing when I got assigned to a proposal with Joe. Not his real name. Sorry, Joes of the world. Poor Joe. Joe led his department, but how I will never know. From day one, it was chaos. It was like he'd never put together a proposal before. Well, that's all smeeze. He swore he had a great relationship with a client, but couldn't produce a reference or reliable contact. Did not know who to contact for addenda, and there were a lot of addenda. That is very worrisome to me. I wonder how they got a hold of them. Most of the proposal is a blur now. I've probably blacked it out from trauma. Oh, poor thing. But what I do remember is sitting at my computer, waiting for confirmation that Joe had submitted it. It was an email submission, easy enough. That was the plan. Instead, 20 minutes before the deadline, Joe sent another round of edits. Major copy changes, major layout impacts. And then he said, just pick these up and email the final to the client, would you? I froze. He was the one with the air quotes relationship. I was the new nobody, but there wasn't time to argue. My fingers felt like lead, rebelling against me as I fought through text updates, layout breaks, and the world's slowest export. Joe kept calling and calling and calling, but I couldn't stop to answer. Finally, 1 minute to the deadline, I hit send. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely see the screen. But even after the email went out, I couldn't shake the feeling. Joe had engineered it that way. That last minute handoff, the fake urgency, all to make sure that if we did miss the deadline, it would be my fault and not his.
Ooh, Joe's a mega villain in this one.
Joe is a mega villain. Like, all of this, I'm like, yeah, no, I've dealt with this, I've dealt with this, I've dealt with this. And we got to that last paragraph, and I was like, ooh, we either have major trust issues or Joe is nefarious.
Yeah, it sounds like the latter.
I think
I
so.
don't think I would like to work for Joe.
I don't think I would either. I hope that they never had to work for Joe again.
I feel like my heart was pounding even while we read that.
Mine, same. I mean, just the 20 minutes to deadline alone makes me nervous. I try to always submit things at least a few hours early, not the day before. It's not always realistic, but ugh, 1 minute to go and you're hitting send. What if their clock is slightly different than your clock and it comes in 1 minute after?
Well, Joe had himself covered in that situation.
Yeah, good for Joe. Ugh. I don't have anything else to say about this one. I just kind of want to jump through the screen and
That was a rough one.
yeah. They're sending hugs to that submission
There
writer.
is no worse feeling than like being up against a deadline and having to perform at that level.
Yes,
Like those days are the worst. And you guys deal with it all the time.
we do. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, it's terrible. Oh boy, this next story is called The Road Trip from Hell.
This one can go so many ways. We've done
It
a lot of
sure
road trips at work.
Warning, if you've ever packed your laptop for vacation just in case, then you know how this story ends. Rochelle, did you write this story?
I kind of wish I had.
You talk about this all the time. You're just in
I
case laptop.
do. I do. And I should put warning labels on my story. One day I will tell you my road trip from hell laptop breaking in the middle of my trip story.
I just did it 2 weeks ago where I was on a road trip and brought my laptop just in case. Luckily, I think mine ended better than this story, but we'll see. Because I
Well,
did not use mine. So that was
no,
good. I don't think this person was that lucky.
I don't think so either.
I wasn't supposed to bring my computer. Everyone promised they'd have what I needed before I left. The technical team said they were on it. The PM said, "Don't worry, enjoy your trip." And I believed them because, hey, I'm a marketer, not their mom. It was a long awaited road trip. We'd planned long mountain hikes in places with wide open skies and the kind of quiet I'd been dreaming about after too many back to back deadlines. But that proposal hung over me like a cloud. I couldn't shake it. Every time we stopped for a scenic overlook, I'd wonder if another update had hit my inbox and how bad the damage was going to be. I wasn't supposed to have Teams on my phone, but there I was snapping photos and then checking messages. By day two, I got the dreaded, "We just need a few last edits, nothing major" message. Except, quote, "nothing major" turned into half the technical section needing revisions and no one else available to do it. So there I was in the passenger seat, laptop balanced on my knees, hotspots struggling, winding mountain roads outside the window. Did I mention I get car sick easily? One glance at a screen and I started to question all my life choices while trying not to hurl. Every turn in the road made my stomach roll. That proposal that would be done before you leave ate the first 3 days of my vacation. I hit send somewhere between a gas station in the middle of nowhere and a national park sign. Did anyone apologize? Thank me for my effort? Check in on me? A few of them knew about my motion sickness, having had the pleasure of riding with me to interviews in the past. Of course not. Did we win the project? Of course not.
That last line is the saddest one in this whole thing.
Sure is.
It was so much awful. Okay, my road trip wasn't that bad. I just had to check a form. I do also get car sick though, so I feel for this person.
I also get car sick and can't do anything in the car, so they'd be a SOL with me.
I mean, it sounded like they should have been SOL with this person, but they pushed through.
Well, and the one thing that wasn't mentioned at all in this story is it doesn't sound like she was alone in her road trip.
I kept waiting
Because
for
if
that
she
one too.
was, I'd be really impressed that she could get car sick, drive, and work on a proposal at the same time. But, you know, everybody else suffered because of this story as well that was in the car with her. or him.
I was just gonna say, Jeff, we don't know.
We don't know. That's right. I mean, I assume because she said she's not their mom,
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
but that was an assumption on my part.
I mean, at least you had evidence to back it up. Yeah,
I would have hurled.
I would have too. Or I would have had like the worst migraine ever for the next 3 days, which would have ruined the whole vacation.
I wonder why they didn't win. That's strange.
It's shocking that
I
they,
know.
ran
Last
it
minute.
down to the deadline and
Nobody's working on it. Wonder why they didn't win.
crazy. These PMs out here just putting in half effort and not knowing it's not going to get them anywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
Next year we'll have to see if we can get some engineers to give us some horror stories or some
oh,
architects.
I would
Then
love that.
yeah, they probably won't be as well written. I always marvel at how well these are written.
Marketers and those writing skills.
Yeah.
But I do want to hear what keeps engineers up at night.
Not spreadsheets.
What about
Spreadsheets help us sleep like a baby.
fonts?
Fonts will give us nightmares for sure.
Belmont,
Logos, fonts,
blank
writing,
pages of
writing,
assignments.
writing responses to RFP questions.
Tell us all about it next year. I'm putting that in your court.
Okay.
So those were really intense. And I want to say thank you to our listeners for sharing them with us. We always appreciate you. But before we go, I thought we'd share a couple of things that keep us up at night, Jeff, like our own little professional horror list. I think we did this last year too. So mine is one that was said, I think, in all four of these stories. And that's, this is just a quick edit because it's never just a quick edit. And it comes with so many implications.
The one that hurt me was the no thank you.
Yeah.
It is not hard to say thank you. It is not hard to check in on somebody and say, I really appreciate what you did.
Yeah.
I was just at a keynote speaking intensive this week, and one of the people there was she works with the Boston Red Sox. And when they went to the World Series many years ago, I think it's been like 15 years or something, but when you get to the World Series, you have a huge party, and then they had to like turn. So they had to plan the party very fast because they didn't know if they were going to the World Series or not. And then you had to like clean up the stadium in a way that it didn't look like you just had this massive party at the stadium. And like they had the Blue Man Group and like all this stuff going on that they
Oh my
planned last
gosh.
minute. So this whole team was working nonstop. And they wrapped up the party and she was, driving home or whatever at 12 o'clock at night, 12, midnight. And she gets a call from the owner of the Red Sox. And she's like, what is going on? I don't want to answer this. I don't want to answer it. I don't know what he could possibly want. What did I mess up? Him and his wife were calling to say thank you, that they did an amazing job. And he couldn't believe that they had pulled off that party in that amount of time and cleaned it up the way they did. It was like a 3-minute phone call, but she still talks about it 15 years later as like an example of what that can do for somebody who you've just put through hell to do something for you.
Yes. People always laugh when this is like a laugh cry story. But I had a few nights in one of my past lives where I had to work late and I was not getting dinners. And one of the principals who wasn't working with me, wasn't even his proposal, just happened to notice and he would like buy a little tin of almonds and leave it on my desk. He's like, you have to eat something, Rochelle. And I think he didn't give me like a full sandwich because he was worried about like dietary restrictions. And the irony of that is that I'm allergic to almonds. So, but he tried. And I think about those almonds all the time. And it's always so sweet to me that at least he noticed. And it wasn't even like I wasn't even working with him. He just happened to walk by my desk and see me there at like 6 o'clock in the morning and still there at like 6 o'clock at night. And was like, I don't think she's eating.
Yeah. So that's mine. People are not nice to each other, don't say thank you. We get a lot further in this world by appreciating people, being nice, saying thank you.
Yeah,
Small little acts that go a long way.
I agree. I
We all
agree.
just want to be appreciated.
Exactly.
So I appreciate all four of these people for what they did. And I wish that they don't have to do it again.
I sincerely hope that these horrors are behind them and they are in better places with teams that care and stick to their deadlines and don't interrupt their vacations. And maybe not using portals. I know we can't really escape them, but
Only Ariba now. What's
arriba.
your favorite?
My new favorite. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
All right, then I'm going to say that's going to do it. To our listeners, may none of your proposals come back to haunt you because that's the worst. Don't forget, if you like what you're hearing, you can follow or subscribe to us on your favorite platform, Amazon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you turn in, so you're always up to date with the latest banter, tools, and truths about the AEC industry and our annual horror stories, of course.
And don't forget that Rochelle and I take November and December off, so we will be back with season 4 in January.
And one of our early episodes is a special at the Southern Regional Conference. We're doing a live AMA for new marketers, new technical staff. It's pretty much new to the industry. So we are excited to see our SRC friends out in San Antonio and record that episode and get started on season 4.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thanks, friends.